Welcome to the Coaching Life Podcast. I'm Pat Martin. Here's my good friend Chris Stewart.
Hi, partner.
How's it going, man?
Good. How you feeling? How's the throat?
It's not good. Does it feel? Do I sound different?
Not to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, cloggy, like a little clog.
Not-
You got that snot between the back of your nose and the top of your throat. Is that what
Well,
you're
I was
dealing
going to
with?
say I didn't want to get too far into it because I didn't want to be gross, but you've already
I guarantee
tipped
you
the
we're not the
scale.
only ones dealing with it. I bet you other people are too.
I've got something going on. I've got it's a sensation in my throat that I've had in the past, but it's like worse now than it's ever been. But
Same.
you feel it? Like there's something in your throat, caught in your throat?
Not right now, but like every 2 weeks, I've had the same thing. And what's weird is my wife April said the same thing. She it's been I don't know, between Thanksgiving and Christmas was the first time it happened where I felt like, I'm getting sick. And it was a sore throat. I had a really bad sore throat the first time. I mean, bad. And I felt terrible. Back was aching and everything. So I probably was sick. And then so that clogged me up. Well, then I got better. Lasted a day or two, a couple days. And I got better and then felt great for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, that scratchy sore throat, it's not like sore, but just weird feeling in the throat. And then just the cough and the snot, and it's
Yeah. I thought
I've been
I was
coughing up some nasty stuff every 2 weeks. Like right now, I'm in the in between moment. So every two,
I haven't had that, but I've actually been doing pretty well this winter. But yesterday I thought I was like, oh man, I've got the flu. That's what I thought I had. But
like everything else feels
better.
okay, right? Like it's all right here. It's isolated to this part.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
right now. Like I felt like I was like, I don't know how it's explained. Like you almost have a fever, or it's coming on or something.
Chilly.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But I felt like I was going to get sick, and then I took some ibuprofen and
powered through.
Went to the game, got everyone else sick, and then I felt better. So that's
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You're supposed to stay home.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a new strand.
That's
what we have. We have some kind of a new strand going around. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
so what's new?
We're not doing our part to flatten the curve here. We need to.
Thank goodness that is not being asked of us any longer.
That's right.
Although I do hear there's a bird flu going around that
if you're sick, stay home, and if you want, or stay away from people. I don't know. I didn't want you to stay home though, because we had to get this podcast episode.
I did tell you I didn't feel so great, but I feel
last night.
I don't feel horrible.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I feel fine.
Well, I appreciate you making the drive up.
Yep, no problem.
Yep, you
committed.
You remote home workers.
I didn't want Chris Snoffer to go without another episode this week.
Yeah. So as President Trump's executive order, does it not apply to you OIT folk? Are you not government employees? Are you supposed to come back to the office?
You and I both work for the same institution, so I don't know why you're singling out OIT folks. But
no, you guys are the ones that are working remotely.
You don't work remote at all?
You and the folks over there across the green, that they have people that work down in Florida and remoting in their work to Ohio University. I don't know if that even happens anymore since Gonzalez took over. Is there? Do we still have upper admins working?
Oh, I don't know.
Out of
I
state?
assume. I think so.
We probably do.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't work remotely. No, I don't.
At all?
I do some hours remotely, but I don't do whole days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Really never have. In the summertime, they encourage it because that really,
there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess there've been like 1 or 2 days in the summer. I just feel weird. I don't know. I never did get used to it.
Yeah. It took me a while to get used to it. But no, I don't think it
doesn't apply to you.
It doesn't apply yet. I think there's talks within the university of trying to.
Well, yeah. That
it.
order obviously doesn't directly apply to you. To us.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that the trickle down effect isn't going to happen with other institutions.
Yep. Yeah. Because there's a big push there for a while, There still is, and I think the problem with like Social Security offices, the people that are
Sure.
having to go back. So I think they're going to find other jobs. I think it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know what the negative impact of that's going to be. I'm worried about that. But I think that would be true for anywhere else because there are a lot of remote, especially in the information technology world. There's a lot of.
I was going to say your industry. I mean, your industry really it's set up for it.
Sure.
Right. I mean, if anybody should and could, it's what you guys do.
Yeah, and I would say that there's certain aspects of areas of OIT that hasn't been remote ever. So like our desktop support team,
sure,
they've been on site, pretty much through it all. I mean, when they were allowed to be on campus, they were on campus.
Yeah,
and then. Yeah, because that requires the majority of their work requires face-to-face interaction.
Right,
someone handing them the laptop or going and seeing it, working on a printer or whatever that is that they're doing. So there's been certain areas in OIT that's been on campus the whole time, but for the people that do most of and we've hired people out of state over the last few years
that are still working wherever they live.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and you don't even have where your office used to be. That doesn't even belong to your department anymore.
No,
I mean,
I'd like to go in there.
They've gotten rid of offices, so if they called all you guys back, where would you go?
Yeah, I don't think they're prepared to do that yet. But they wouldn't do it immediately.
Right,
they'd find a place. But we have flex space, throughout. There's a few buildings.
There's a lot of them here.
Limley, is a for OIT a designated. Flex space. Limley is one. Grosvenor is one. I think they might have taken Grosvenor away.
Not Coach Ryan Limley. Lindley.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That tells you how much.
That's
I've
a
been
maze
there.
over there too. In that building.
And that's where I wanted to get. Like if I was going to come back, I was going to go to Lindley because I like that building. Yeah. And then the Ridges has some spaces too. Yeah. That could be an interesting podcast.
Go out there in the Ridges.
We could talk.
Yeah. It would be kind of cool to go up. I got a tour of the upper level, like above the Kennedy Museum, now where it still looks like the old the lunatic asylum is what they called it.
Yeah.
The ballroom.
Oh, I didn't.
It's eerie looking.
Really?
I mean,
Is it old? Is it dilapidated?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. There's still a lot of spaces like that over there.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I've never really been around. On those tours or anything.
I just got it because one year I did some partnership work with the College of Fine Arts, and they own the Kennedy Museum. It's their space. So when I was going around and meeting all the people in their different facilities, that curator there at the museum gave me the tour. He said, "Hey, you want to see the upstairs?" And I said, "Yeah." So he took me around to those spaces. It kind of reminded me of like the movie The Shining.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
like that ballroom in that. What was he? Was he in snowshoe or not snowshoe? Or he was in like the Poconos or something, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't
in The
remember.
Shining. It was like a ski
he was
resort.
out in the it was a blizzard.
But that just kind of reminded you of what it would have looked like in its day, and so
that's creepy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of the things like that. People ask me,
It's fascinating.
They're like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And I say, "No."
Oh no.
And they're like, "Okay, you want to go check us out?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Because I don't believe in ghosts. I do know that there are demons.
Yeah.
What you think is a ghost is you are hearing something.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
We could get into something. We can get into some deep biblical things right there, can't we? So, yeah.
Hey, I want to say something real quick.
All right.
There's an individual that's we're going to talk about going to the OHSBCA, the coaches clinic here at the end of the week, and there's a coach, Dave Klontz from that coached Heath High School in Ohio. Coached him for 50 years. Won 668 games. He's won 2 Division III state championships, league championships.
One of those being last year, right?
No, so he was not the coach last year.
Gotcha.
He stopped being the coach, I think, in 2016. However, he coached them for 50 years. In 2016, he continued to work on their field and put a lot of effort and time into the field. Yeah, and passed away a couple weeks ago. So just wanted to give a shout out to him.
Yeah.
And I meant to do it last week, and it just got away from me. I didn't remember, but congratulations to him. And then I say it because I know I've read some stories about him, and I've just heard, it's not just the wins and the state championships, but people say what kind of a treasure he was to the community and how many lives he impacted and things like that. So that's the kind of things that we celebrate and talk about on our podcast. So I wanted to speak up and say, job well done, Coach Clounce, and thank you to his family and condolences to them. And sorry to
the coaching community is getting younger. I've noticed at that conference. Last year, a lot of guys that you would, when I was a young coach, that I would see there all the time. Now there's still a lot of veteran coaches there, veterans that are older than me, there. But now I kind of feel like I'm in that transition where I'm becoming one of the older guys.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, I've seen you the past 10 years here at this.
That's weird because, it's like in the TVC, in the TVC Ohio division, we're losing some coaches this year as well. And I'm just thinking, man, I remember coming in and being the absolute new guy. And now I'm becoming more seasoned quickly.
That is interesting to think about because in the TVC Hawking, as far as tenured coaches go, like in terms of recent years, Coach Wickline, and then me. This is my 5th year at Eastern.
Yep.
Because Coach Wickline's probably been at Southern for 12 to 15 years. I don't know how long he's been there, but I know he was at Southern, then Alexander, then back at Southern, I believe, was the route he took.
Because Waterford.
Chris is in his probably 3rd year at Waterford, right?
Yes.
Of course, Coach, Rocky Brunty is the most tenured coach among us.
He did come back.
He stepped away for several years, and now he's back at Federal Hawking.
That's true.
So you kind of have to count him as the most tenured. So but it is pretty wild. Trimble's young. Chaz is in his 3rd year, I believe. So maybe 4th, no 3rd. I don't know. These years get away from me a little bit.
I think. Yeah, it's at least his 3rd.
You know what's wild? Like, this is my 5th year at Eastern. I coached Athens as the head coach for 5 years.
Oh, for 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for 13 in all, but 5 years as the head coach.
So you're becoming more of an Eagle than a Bulldog
after this year.
Yeah.
Yep. Year 4 and 5, we went to the regional final at Athens. So, went to the regional last year, year 4. Ran into a buzzsaw.
Going to win it this year.
Speaking of that, somebody asked me, we said we're going to talk about the Ohio High School Baseball Coaches Association clinic that we're going to attend here in a couple days.
Yep.
Somebody asked me what sessions... Dustin, who's going with us, so what sessions are you going to attend? And you're looking at the schedule, and I have been looking at the schedule, and in fact, I've got my schedule highlighted there, and I'm excited about a lot of these sessions. But what I told him, one of the things I'm most excited about is hearing from the Ohio High School Athletic Association rep about the divisions and how those are going to play out. And I want to know who's in our district. Like, I want to know who we're going to be playing in our district, Division 6 district, and who's our potential regional teams and things like that. Because here's what I'm thinking. Are those public yet? Like, can I find those? Because Excuse me.
You know, I never thought in my mind that they were going to change districts, but they'd have to.
I'm pretty sure, based on what I'm seeing in the basketball divisions, that Southeast District South and Southeast District North, or was it East and West?
In basketball or in baseball?
Baseball.
I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
North and South.
Is it North and South? Yeah. Those two will be district champions and play each other in the regional semi. Like last year, the only chance that our Southeast District North and South teams would have seen each other in the regional is if we had won the semi. Like if we had won our semifinal against Berlin Highland, and Fairfield won theirs against whoever they played, then we would have met another Southeast District team in the regional final. But the way it looks is that the two Southeast District champions will play each other in the regional semifinal, which would then mean, so would you not see a team like Highland until the regional final?
Gotcha.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
I see what you're saying.
The regional.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, I don't know. I mean, this is boring stuff for people who are listening, but it's something that I've been thinking about a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, and it probably will be a lot like basketball. I would say basketball.
Very similar.
Yeah. Now, I probably wouldn't be able to track that very well because, basketball does have. I guess it's possible for any. I don't know what the difference is across the board because Megs is D4 in basketball and we're D5 in baseball. So
yeah,
but that might be the only difference. Could be. And the D4 in basketball and baseball in the Southeast District could be the same.
Right.
But teams that were in our district, I don't know. I was just thinking that maybe we would have the same teams but less, and that's one of the reasons that we no longer have that sectional.
Yeah, you're basically
championship.
playing in the district championship 3 games into the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's like I'm sure that there'll be lots of conversation about this newness this
so when
week, and so I'm excited about.
When are you planning on seeing that? I don't.
So that is actually
that'd be,
a Friday morning meeting with Emily Mason
I got you.
and
Yeah,
Ronald
yeah.
Sayers from
Right before we go to our
OHSBCA.
district
Yeah, it's
meeting,
before the mini clinics and it's after. So Saturday morning or Friday morning begins with your district meetings. And the various districts, central, northeast, southeast,
right,
east,
8 a.m.
they're all in the different rooms there in the Easton, the Hilton Columbus at Easton, and then after the district meetings, those are only a half an hour long. So like for guys who only come up for the district meeting, they're going to drive to Columbus to go to a half-hour meeting, sign in, and then leave. So we recommend that you just go to the clinic. Just go to the clinic. Get better.
So what, you save the money to register for the clinic if you just drive up for the meeting?
I'm guessing that's the thinking. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I just assumed it was part of the clinic. You had to register for the clinic anyway, even if you're just
you do. You do have to pay those state dues, right? Yeah. You got. Yeah. So you
don't have to pay.
You got to register.
Yeah.
You just don't have to pay for the hotel or anything like that. But a lot of guys don't do that anyway. They just go up for one day. They just go up for Friday anyway. There's a lot on the schedule for Friday.
And stay Friday, yeah. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is. Actually, the bulk,
there are a couple main sessions on Friday.
But that's when you get into the breakdown sessions, which is...
Well, there's one in the grand ballroom. There's two. Well, one, and then you got the field of need. Because Brian Polian, who's the John Carroll University's athletic director, he's got a session called Coaching Gen Z. Mm-hmm. That's on Friday in the main ballroom after the mini clinics, and then after his session, you've got the OHSAA meeting. So I think that session gets everybody back in there, and then you're there for the meeting. Making sure that all the coaches are in there for the OHSAA meeting, where I'm assuming we're going to hear some info about because they don't do the rules meeting in person anymore. It used to be a rules meeting.
Yeah,
so now it's just an update, and I'm really assuming that a lot of that update's going to involve these 7 divisions.
I hope they touch on some recruiting things there,
recruiting issues, and people who want to start practicing on February 17th. Yeah. I still had people on Sunday saying 17th is going to be here before you know it. And I said, I'm sorry, man, it's not the 17th. It's the 24th. It's like, oh, what? Well, we don't have school on the 17th. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I wish it was the 17th.
It's always that day, but we keep getting pushed.
I think we should just make it all of February. February 1st.
Yeah, just open it up. Yeah.
It's easier to remember,
So, yeah, no, there's the Friday looks great. I mean, these mini clinics, like there's 4 different sessions of mini clinics, which are basically like workshops. They're smaller workshops. There's multiple I haven't speakers going on at the same time.
Lined them up to see, because there's duplicates, so you have a chance.
There's only a handful of duplicates.
There are.
You only got like one chance to see some of these.
Yeah, right. So I haven't lined them up to know, to say, well, I have to go here for that. But
here's some interesting topics: old school teachings, new school tactics.
Yeah,
bringing the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just strength training for multi-sport baseball athlete, because a lot of times when you're researching strength training, or when you're talking to someone about strength training, they have a tracked mind where they're like, well, it's a perfect scenario.
We're only training baseball players here,
right? And that's not that's definitely not the case in our situation. And probably a lot of schools across Ohio, you might only have your baseball athlete full force for 5 to 6 months, if that. So how do you approach that? I'm looking for both of the Denison University sessions. I'm looking forward to.
What's the Denison?
Developing dynamic hitters.
Yeah,
but then 2. Where was that?
There was one that was a main session, right?
It's defensive positioning, I think.
Oh, yes.
Defensive positioning, another layer to run position.
Coach Romick.
Yeah.
Yeah. One is, I know Denison has a great program.
Yeah.
With Coach Deegan.
Right.
But that defensive positioning, another layer to run prevention does look, we started dabbling with that a little bit last year, only versus a couple of teams that we had a lot of scouting on.
Yeah.
Because they left their game changer open. No. And you could see some of the tendencies, but I'll tell you, it's still a gamble. It's still a gamble, because even if you look and you see that Addison Whitlatch has only hit 1 ball to the right side of the field in 40 at bats, and so you shift everybody over to the left side of the field in your infield, and he plunks one just above where your second baseman's glove would have been in the right field, you realize we lost the gamble.
Yeah.
That happened.
Did that happen?
I don't know if you remember.
He hit to the right side, huh?
He did.
He still
for
won
the second time. I mean, you have his spray charts where everything was on that side of the field. Everything. We're like, that's a good gamble.
We're a poolside team.
That's a good gamble. Yeah. Well, your son is not.
It's funny because
every time he plays us, he hits the right side.
He hits to the right side a lot, but he opens up early a lot.
So he's just missing it. He's strong enough to punch it out there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just letting it get deep to that's outside there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer to that is, but he does a good job of hitting the outside pitch and going that way. But he might be missing it. So
he's beat us before on the right side. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's we had a lot on Trimble, so we shifted a little bit on Trimble. There was a couple guys we played up the middle last year, who were pretty consistent, middle left side. And we're like, well, I'd rather take away the middle than the second base side. So.
You just hate that when you make that move.
And then
let's shift, and then
I'll tell you, our guys are still talking about this shift, and it wasn't a shift; it was just a nudge. Brady Rockhold had not a perfect game, a no-hitter in the district championship game against Southwebster last year, and was brilliant. it was a brilliant performance, not just by him, but by our defense, because I think he only had 7 strikeouts. So the defense played.
Awesome. Yeah.
And 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. It had been the top of the 7th. We were the home team. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. We had the lead. They didn't have a hit. I believe I think he had. I have to look back at the book. I think he had 2 strikes on the batter, even. Like, it was down to the last pitch. And the guy that was up to bat had grounded out to Ethan Edwards at shortstop a couple of times, and it was more toward the 5.5. And Ethan was shading the middle. I'm like, why is he shading the middle so much? And so I'm like, we got his attention, and we moved him just a little bit to his right. This is baseball. Yeah. Next pitch. And it wasn't even a hard ground ball. Like, you could almost count the hops as it was going up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. Ethan laid out, just out of his reach.
Darn.
So you know what happened? I went out. I called time. I went out to talk to Brady and our infield. And the first thing I said was, "Give me the ball. You're done." He was like, "What?" But Ethan looked at me and goes, "Why'd you move me?" Ethan was mad. I'm like, "I'll take it." Like, probability said. I said, you know what? I mean, where those the other times the kid was up to bat?
I'd asked Ethan why he was shading.
So, yeah, why were you shading the middle to start with? So
but like pitch location wild, and selection. I mean that can get you, like, if you have a strategy going in, like, okay, this guy's pull side, we're gonna shade and we're gonna keep the ball in. You know what I mean? Because if he hits an outside pitch, he can miss it to the opposite way very easily.
That's the missing ingredient that I think people at our level don't realize sometimes, or maybe they do, and that's why we don't see a lot of shifting. Is a lot of the reason why these major league teams shift and are able to do it successfully is because they have pitchers on the mound that they know.
Yes.
That, hey, when they pull that card out and they see that this pitcher's he's gonna
Yes.
pitch this guy away.
Yes.
Then we can shift him away because he's not going to miss inside. He's just not.
Right.
And if he's going hard away and soft inside, or whatever, or vice versa, then we know how to play him defensively. Our pitchers, we got some good pitchers, and everybody has at least one or two pitchers that you can trust. But can you trust them to that level,
right,
to where they're not going to make a mistake?
Sure.
I don't know, but usually that's when you get bit, is when the pitch isn't in the location that
right.
Because if if you're playing a pull team, do you want to pitch them inside all the time? Because that's what they're looking for.
Oh, I mean,
right?
True. Yeah, right.
And so, you want them to try to hit that ball off the end of the bat and roll over it and hit some lazy ground balls, but every now and then one's going to go to the right side. So
sure.
do you actually...
Yeah, and it just makes it more difficult to get outs, too, because they're, like you said, they're looking for a certain pitch, and you're hitting that spot. So you're giving them what they're looking for.
Yeah.
In the major leagues, you're talking about significantly more difficult standards or situations to hit in.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So no, there's some really good mini clinics. I'm excited about those.
Here's another one here that I wanted to point out, but I can't
find it.
What it is.
On the mini or the main session?
Pitcher development, 12-month schedule. That's interesting with Coach Mott from Wesleyan.
Yeah, Coach Peyton Buckley's coach.
Oh, we'll get some
Tyler
insight
Mott.
there on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Some insight on what old Peyton's going to be going through.
Yeah,
coaching the mental game. Our on campus
coaching Gen Z
resident. Do you see that though? Coach
we have
McWilliams.
Ohio University. Yeah,
Coach McWilliams coaching the middle game. Coaching Gen Z.
I don't think I've met Kenyon McWilliams.
I haven't either.
I'm definitely going to go to one of his sessions. I'd like to introduce myself.
Yeah, because he's on there. That's one that's duplicate, right?
Yeah, he does it 2 times in a row on Friday.
No, there was one there that I thought.
Body language. Yeah, that's him.
Body language.
There was Oh, I guess the John Carroll is the one that's doing coaching Gen Z. That's a main session in the ballroom.
And maybe that's what I'm missing.
Yeah,
is the main session.
Well, of course, we always have the. I hate saying it this way, but we always have the new Ohio State coach speaking. It didn't used to be new. Coach Beals was there for years, but here in the last 4 years, we've had 2 different coaches 3 years.
Is the new coach this year?
Justin Harris is brand new.
Oh, he is?
At Ohio State.
I thought he was there last year. Did they hire him?
I think he was hired in the summer, maybe. I think he was hired this summer.
But was he an assistant on the staff the year before?
Was it the summer? Maybe he was there last year. I don't know.
Either way.
But yeah, so he'll be the last speaker of Thursday night. From Campbell to Columbus, mistakes, lessons, and questions, and the opportunity of a lifetime. So basically, probably telling his story.
That's probably what it is right there. That's what I was thinking of. I think
the session. Coach Denteman is before him from Northern.
Yeah, I wonder what that will be an interesting to see if they talk about the hop step, the jump step. The lead.
He actually did this session at ABCA this year.
Oh, you already saw it.
He spoke for the first time at the ABCA, and he did a great job. Yeah, he did a really great job.
Cool.
I like Coach Denteman. He was the head coach at Sinclair Community College for years. It was baseball powerhouse in JUCO before they had their program taken away. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple D1 head coaches in Coach Hare and Rick Heller from University of Iowa. Of course, Denteman's also D1 there. But I tell you, the ones I'm excited to hear from, and I'm really glad to see that we've got a high school coach speaking right off the bat at 4:55. Coach Gamble from Massillon Jackson.
And Mosley from Hoover.
And Mosley, right. Now, granted, these are schools that are bigger than ours. The context isn't the same, but at least we're moving in a good direction, because I put on my evaluation every year, I want high school main speakers. I want to listen to high school coaches talk. It's great to have the big names and the guys, but I don't know that we have guys that are sitting in awe, just wanting to listen to a speech, as much as guys who really want to. I want to implement some stuff. I can't implement a lot of the things that some of these guys talk about just because we don't have the same resources. And so I do like the fact that we have some high school guys talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't see the Mongolian Grill on the itinerary.
Oh, you're not looking at my chart there.
Oh, you got it.
The Mongolian Grill is right there. Right there. I have dinner in between this area. Now, granted, the problem is, in order to go and have a great dinner with some coaches and sit down and chew the fat and enjoy your time, you got to miss some stuff. But that's a sacrifice I'm always willing to make.
Sure.
Because it's just as valuable, I think, to hang with the fellas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Coach Corvin's already said he's ready for the dinner at the Mongolian Grill. I think we're gonna have a round table about some things that I've.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's on my plate. So
you try to get him to schedule you. You still gonna try talking him into scheduling?
No, our schedule's full. Yeah, he should though.
10 wins.
That's all we had.
10 wins last year.
We had the same amount of wins.
Is that right?
Yeah.
First time I think in South Gallia history, maybe.
Really?
Maybe not. In recent history, for sure.
I mean, he just needs time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just needs time, and it's gonna make it work. And if not, help a lot of kids along the way.
One of the things I'd like to mention too is on Friday afternoon is the Hall of Fame banquet, and at the clinic, and one of our Southeast coaches is being inducted into the Ohio High School Coaches Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame, and that is Ed Yates from he coached at Huntington for years. I think Ed lives in Florida now. Only retired a couple years ago, and he, in fact, he beat us in the district championship game. No, it was a district semi. It had been my second year at Eastern. Went extra innings up there, and because it was Brady Rockhold's freshman year.
That was the questionable call at the plate game, wasn't it?
Oh no, that was a district championship at Chillicothe Paint Stadium. Matthew Blanchard's senior year, we were playing against the Paint Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was Reggie. That's the umpire's name. Never forget it. 5 years ago. Never seen him since. I'm sure he's a great guy. Sure he's a nice guy. He just had a really rough day.
Yeah.
Yeah. More ways than one. Let's stop talking about that. So, yeah.
Sorry to bring.
There's a lot about that game that's like, man, I think about a lot. I mean,
sure.
I needed probably 3 or 4 inches, and Matthew Blanchard hits an inside the park home run, very last out of the game. Just a shot down the right field line. Problem is, he had hit three balls before that.
I felt like you got that.
Speaking of shading somebody, according to the tendencies, the kid ran all the way to the foul line and laid out and caught that ball.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Matthew was around first base when the kid caught it, and I was in my mind, I was like, I'm waving him, as it had been the tying run. So, yeah.
That's what makes the game so great.
It does. Those are things we're still thinking about things like that. I mean, I'm down. You know, you always hate saying, well, stop talking about last year and the past because we're moving forward. But it's we were after our Sunday bullpens and hitting just this past Sunday. We got a group of kids standing around with our coaches, and what are we doing? We're talking about the regional game. We're talking about.
Our guys were talking about who the best basketball player is between Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
After
our hitting.
That seems to be a common conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, it's MJ.
Yeah, there's hands
all
down.
day, every day, hands down. The Last Dance, which isn't just about Michael Jordan. That's about that whole team. But,
right.
Yeah.
They talk about him a lot, though.
Yep. There's a reason for that.
You know who Michael Jordan says is the best ever?
Does he say Michael Jordan?
No, he says it's a ridiculous question. So you should talk about the best teams ever, not the best individuals, because they're hard to compare with.
He's still on that one.
Right.
He's still in that conversation.
But you know who LeBron James says is the best ever?
I don't actually.
I've never heard
I don't
him
pay
say
attention
it,
to this.
but I think there's been the times that he's compared himself to Jordan. And
has he?
Yeah. I know he stared him down that one
guy's
time.
amazing. I mean, yeah, you could
is.
see him coming when he was in high school. It's going to be incredible. So
Yeah, he is. And he brought a championship to Cleveland.
Right,
so.
right. And they would not have been able to do it in any possible way without him.
No.
I mean, he was very much the anchor of that team.
Oh yeah, saved the game.
And that might even be the argument that people have for him being better than MJ is that
he won
MJ had
Cleveland.
better players around him, and that LeBron was able to win in Cleveland with a lesser team.
Yeah. He had a pretty good team,
but he had a great team in Miami.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think that's a big argument. Is Jordan overcame his.
And I don't think he had better players around him. He made those guys really good.
I mean, he had Pippen, who's a top 50. Mm-hmm. Pippen was really good, and then, but then he had guys that came and went.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
I don't think there's any question about it in my mind or anybody's mind that actually watched him play. It's the younger generation that go for.
They're losing it.
LeBron,
they're losing those highlights. That the highlights don't look as flashy to them.
I told the guys I would have a concrete argument on coming next week why Michael Jordan was better, and one of the biggest things, one of the most important pieces of information I have is that any NBA, if any poll done by NBA players. Now, retired players, current players, Jordan wins that poll. You can Google it.
Yeah.
Jordan's always the NBA players.
Guys
the majority
who are playing
of them believe that Michael
with
Jordan
LeBron
is
right now.
Right.
Yeah.
They talk about total cumulative stats and things like that, but LeBron's played 500 more games than Michael Jordan.
Yep.
So you can't go off of that.
Yep. I was just watching The Ken Burns baseball documentary has been running on MLB Channel, and there isn't anything else to watch right now in terms of sports because done with football. And maybe we can get into that just for a second. But the segment that was on last night that I happened to turn on was Roger Maris. When Roger Maris was about to break Babe Ruth's single-season home run record, and he was sitting at 60, and he was getting booed and death threats, and there were people in New York liked it, and they were the Yankees were some of them did, some of the Yankees fans, and of course all of his teammates were for him and everything. But it was a mixed bag of feelings because everybody loved Ruth, and they were afraid this was going to erase Ruth. So when he finally did hit 61 and broke Babe Ruth's record, they decided to put an asterisk beside it because he played in more games than Ruth did. I don't remember how many more games, but he played in more games and had like 40 more at bats or whatever. And some of the, I think Ken Burns even made a comment on it in his own documentary where he's like, if we're going to do that, then we got to say, well, he also was playing against, in parks that were not as favorable to the home run. He played this many more games than Ruth, but he played this many more away games than Ruth did. Ruth still played more home games than he did. Just lots of things like that. You know? But anyway, it's when it's constantly changing. Like that,
those records are weird.
Tough.
Like when you look at just statistics, one of the things that I said was, who's the best player in the NBA today? And those guys were all like, well, it's this player, it's that player, it's that player. And I'm like, in his prime, he came back with the Wizards. But when Jordan played with the Bulls, there was never a year he played that he wasn't the best player in the league.
Yeah, it's true. And these guys you're getting popcorn answers of a lot of different
It was
everybody.
It was always Michael. If that you asked that question, it was always Michael Jordan.
Yeah, everybody
someone
in
might
the
have
80s
said
and 90s,
something else.
They would have said Michael
Larry
Jordan.
Bird or Magic John.
You would have gotten that answer a little bit.
I think the league had more superstars in it too when Michael played. I think there was more.
Remember
LeBron
that first
James.
Olympic team?
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think that team beats this team. That was another argument that someone came up with recently. Is like they think this Olympic team would beat. I'm like, I don't think so.
They'd beat him now.
Yeah,
like Pete Rose's quote. He was. I think you said that one a few podcasts back.
Yeah.
Pete Rose is sitting there talking to somebody about.
He only hit like 180 or something like that.
How would you hit against these pitchers today? And you're like, not very good. Right? 180. Like, really?
You think they're that much better? Well, 70 years old.
That is so Pete, man. I love it.
I think Ty Cobb was the first one credited with that.
That was Pete stole that, right?
And some other guys have done it.
He stole a few things from Ty Cobb.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
we talking football? Is that where you want to go? What's wrong? I know you're excited about your new head coach.
So
I almost said offensive coordinator.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely excited about the new Ohio University head coach. Let's talk about the Clown League for a second, the NFL.
Okay.
I don't think you were getting ready to say I'm excited about Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that.
I was going to say you're new offensive coordinator, but he's actually going to be your head coach.
I'm going to burn my Cowboys stuff. I'm done. Like, somebody told me yesterday that Jerry Jones had a press conference where he's talking about how people say I don't do things out of the box. I show you I do things outside the box. I believe in a guy that you watch what he does. Come on, Jerry. Everybody knows why you hired him because he's going to go, yes sir, whatever you want, sir. So anyway,
so why were you mad in the AFC Championship?
Oh no, it's just so. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Like, I'm not. But at some point, coincidences have to make you pause and say, why are there so many coincidences? I just don't think the Chiefs are that much better team than these teams that they're beating. Now, I think they're good. Andy Reid is a genius football coach, I believe. And they had a much better game plan against the Bills, and the Bills had opportunities to win. I scratched my head at the Bills and friggin' Tony Romo saying that they're running the tush push. That was not a tush push. That's an old school quarterback sneak. That's what that is. The tush. Watch the Eagles. That's a tush push. You get 5,
they're just calling
6 inches behind his butt, and as soon as they and you go straight ahead, and so you got, the amount of, the force from the poundage that is coming in, it's impossible to stop. That, and I don't like it. I think it should be outlawed. But what the Bills were doing to try to gain 1 yard was stupid. It was you may as well turn it around and hand it to your star running back, who they couldn't stop anyway. They couldn't stop, right? Yeah. And so I don't know. But so yeah, they had opportunities. But my goodness, how many times are the Chiefs going to get benefited by calls that even the people in the booth and the official that they go to say, we need to go to Gene and talk about this, says, yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, guys. I'm with you there. I don't know why they did that. Like, how many times are we going to watch a Chiefs game where you hear that kind of commentary because they're just speechless? They're like, yeah, I don't know about that call. And they just so this is the coincidences. They just so happen to be on major moments in the game, 3rd down and long, or
4th and 1
situation, 4th and 1.
I thought the Bills made that.
I did too.
I thought the ball was.
I think everybody who, yeah. Well, I thought they made it on 3rd down. The pass of the tight end. Have you gone back and watched that where he lays out? I mean, he lays out. His elbows are across that yellow line, and like the spot was every bit of 2 yards back from where the ball was when he laid out. I'm like, that's a bad spot. When I watched that, I'm like, that's a terrible spot. But they were trying to hurry up and get in that 4th down quarterback sneak lineup, and which they'd already failed on earlier in the game.
I mean, Josh Allen is a big guy. I
he
can
is.
See the thinking behind that, but I feel like
they had guys in the neutral zone during that play. If you look at it again, I mean, they're just things that get overlooked. I don't understand how the Chiefs, I don't know if it's a strong side tackle or the weak side tackle, but the guy lines up in the backfield every down where there's going to be a pass. Every down that's a potential pass play, this tackle is in the backfield, and he never gets called for it. Sometimes he even comes out of his stance early, like a split second early. And I don't know if I'm just dissecting the Chiefs because I hate these guys or what, but like there's just so many things where it's like, goodness gracious, they don't need the help. They are good. They're not Patriots good. This is not the same kind of team where you're like, Patriots got a little bit of help now and then, and the Brady rule, the Tuck rule, and all that. But Brady was flat out done. I mean, he did it. Like you watch the end of those
Chiefs
games.
Actually,
you watch the end of Patriots games, you're like, oh, son of a gun, Brady did it again. You watch the end of Chiefs games, you're like,
well, let me say this.
How'd they pull that out?
I feel like that was the end of Brady's career, but at the beginning of Brady's career, the Patriots had a really strong defense.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, to me, like the Chiefs now.
And he was able to manage those games. Yeah.
And that's what they remind me of. I don't know. I feel like if there was a fix.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah,
surely they would let the Browns win one.
You would. I don't know. It just.
Do you know the only two quarters?
It's inconsistent, is what I think. I think what people are seeing. Like, do we really believe that there's a fix? Like, I mean, there are some people who are like, oh, it doesn't have to be the league wide, right? It could just be Goodell telling the officials, I would rather have. Like make sure that these things get called. I don't know.
Yeah,
that could happen. It's a federal crime if it does, because now that gambling's involved, right?
Yeah.
But so I really don't think that that's happening. I really don't. Like, I have a really hard time, even though the NFL is an entertainment industry, not a sports industry. I don't think that is happening. But something is wild when officiating is so inconsistent when it comes to Chiefs games and everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
Like, Jaden Daniels does not get the calls that Patrick Mahomes gets. Joe Burrow who is a star in the league now, does not get the calls that Patrick Mahomes does.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
There's a microscope underneath that guy. And yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we need to have our officiating subject matter expert Nathan Carroll come on and explain it to us. Tell us his perspective, what he sees going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know the only 2 quarterbacks that's beaten Mahomes in the playoffs? You read that?
Well, I know Burrow's won.
Yep.
Dak Prescott, that had to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen.
Yeah, that's a horrible guess. Not because
I just said it
not because it would be an AFC team playing an NFC team in the playoffs, but because
it would be because the Cowboys
it'd be the
would have to win a
Cowboys
playoff
go to the
game.
Super Bowl. Or winning a
Just win
playoff game.
Yeah. The second one.
You're overthinking it.
Because it's not Josh Allen didn't beat him, did he?
Nah.
Yeah, because he's 0-4 now.
Yeah.
AFC. What was it, Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom
With
Brady
the
and Joe
Bucks?
With
With the Bucks?
No.
Oh, it was with the Patriots?
Yeah, the Bucks are.
Oh, yeah, the Bucks are in the NFC. Yeah. Well, I can't keep these teams. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say they're no longer watching. They're not watching the Super Bowl. They're not watching the NFL. I'd roll my eyes too because I'm like, yeah, you will. You'll watch it.
I'm not. I am not as interested. I kind of want to watch the Eagles play the Chiefs.
I can't stand the Eagles, man. Dustin, I mean.
Oh, he is an Eagles fan. I keep forgetting.
Congratulations to the people who Jules, one of Kaylee's best friends, who is from New Jersey. She's from New Jersey, which is just outside of Philly. Like she's 45 minutes away from Philly. She was actually at the Eagles tailgate this week. I need to ask her if she was on the subway where the guy was roasting a pig. People are crazy in Philadelphia. She said she did tell Kaylee last night they didn't grease the poles. Because they grease the poles
to keep people
the light
off of
the posts and stuff, and so she's like, it's crazy here. Like the whole week, like it's happening right now. Like people are just tailgating right now.
Yeah,
like I don't know if these people not have jobs.
They did that last year. They take them off. They got vacation.
I guess, yeah. But
I
don't know. I mean, like I cannot. Like there's nothing inside me that can muster up any sort of support for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I cannot root for the Eagles.
So you're rooting for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
I cannot root for the Chiefs. So what do? Like, you're sitting there watching a game. You're a sports fan, and you want both of these teams to just lose.
Oh, you're a Browns fan now. You just turned into a Browns fan. That's what we've been doing for the last 30 years.
Listen, 30 years. Think about how many years Cowboys fans have been dealing with it now. I know you're going to go,
you guys have made more. Yeah, and you have.
It's happening, man. It's happening.
You went through a period in your life where the Cowboys were the team.
We have our Art Modell.
No, you do not. You can't. You don't even have a clue what Art Modell was like. Actually, Art Modell was a good owner when he owned the Browns. He was a good owner. He was willing to spend money. He did a lot of good things for the league, but then he sold his soul. Yeah, and moved it to Baltimore. Yeah. Jerry wouldn't do that. He just built a bigger stadium. So the Browns are moving out of Cleveland, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to build that stadium in
Brook Park.
Yeah, I like where it is.
It's a suburb.
They've done a lot of work in Cleveland around that area where the stadium is. Like, why do they not like where it is?
Well, I think it's the stadium needs repairs, and I think they,
in order to build a new one, you got to and still be able to play home games, you've got to build
right. I don't think you don't
have the time,
and they want a
you can't destroy that one and build
right. They want a dome because of what it's going to bring.
That's not Cleveland, man. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I get it.
Those guys in the dog pound with their shirts off and their faces painted and everything. It's like, you get your shirts off in a dome.
The dog pound's not the dog pound anymore, though. We can say that. It's huge, and like it's not the same. Nothing about the Browns are the same as they were in the early or the late 80s.
Were you going to say in their heyday? Those days when we were winning Super Bowls and
we won league championships.
That's right.
1964. It was 3 years before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Browns. I remember that I had close friends that backed them, and we'd always, because we rooted for the Browns. It's a Ohio team. Was the Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner Browns, the Browns that couldn't get over the hump of the John Elway Denver Broncos. Yeah, those were good. I'm old enough to remember Brian Sipe. I mean,
cardiac kids.
I don't know that I can actually think of a play that I remember him, but Bernie Kosar for sure.
Yeah.
Bernie.
The Browns
Columbus,
were good.
isn't he?
Late 80s, early 90s. Huh?
Is he from Columbus? That area? I felt like he had a radio show for years in Columbus after he retired.
I think
that was based out of Columbus.
I think he's from the Cleveland area.
Cleveland area, okay.
Yeah. That's why he wanted to get back.
Maybe I just always heard it when I was in Columbus, and he was
college at Miami University.
Yeah, that's right.
And then held out of the draft so he could go to Cleveland. When's the last time someone's done that? We got Prime Jr. who's going to be the Cowboys quarterback, saying that he won't play for the Browns. Nah, I don't think
after
that's
Cleveland
true.
hires Dion, he's going to be the
I don't think they're hiring Dion. They might pick him.
See that go back to Brian Schottenheimer a second. Why would you not hire Dion? Maybe Dion didn't want it. Like, I don't even know. Did they even interview Dion? Because they put everybody who they interviewed out on social media.
I think they had conversations, but I think you don't hire Dion because he's not an NFL coach.
Yeah.
If we pull the curtain a little bit, I mean, he's going to bring a lot of hype, but
yeah,
what really tells us that he's going to be a great coach in the NFL, I don't know. I mean, why don't you hire Peyton Manning? Why don't you hire Tom Brady? Why don't you, there's a lot of guys out there. There are a lot of ex-players you could hire that, I don't know. Reggie White would be a good defensive coach, would he? I don't know. Just because you play at a high level don't make you a great coach.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not like Colorado had a ton of success.
I mean, you remember, where are the Marv Levy's and Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and you remember the days when you just had these guys were like, man, these are coaches.
I mean, like Andy Reid,
and they're in there. Andy Reid.
I think Mike Tomlin's up there.
Mike Tomlin.
But, everyone's eventually starts talking about.
I agree. I like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, it might be time for the Steelers to get a new coach.
Yeah,
I think it's dangerous.
For years I was hoping that Jerry would hire Bill Cowher, but you kind of got the sense that because his name kept coming up, and then finally you realize he's not coming back.
There's people talking about the Bills getting rid of McDermott. I'm like, careful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean,
he was outdone Sunday. Badly.
You think?
Yeah, I thought so. I was watching that game thinking, what are these guys doing? Their opening possession was horrible. You got a great running game. What kind of point are you trying to prove here? I mean, they didn't run the ball once in their first possession.
Yeah.
Well, Allen ran the first play, but that was a good play.
He's been beat 4 times in the playoffs by the Chiefs.
Yeah,
the team that has the
refs behind them.
The odd circumstances on their hands. I don't know. I just
the team that has all the coincidental.
And here's the other thing. I don't think the Bills are all, like, from a league perspective, are all that talented across the board. I think Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
But everyone else, like, they have some talent, but not a whole lot. I think a lot of that comes from coaching.
Yeah.
Josh Allen means the world to the team, obviously.
Yeah.
But, to get a team to play together and to succeed in the way that they have, I think that you got to give the coach some credit for that. And then this is like my argument for all the Reds fans out there that want to get rid of Dusty Baker. Mm-hmm. Careful what you wish for. And you know what? They're going to want to get rid of Francona too.
They better not,
because Francona is very similar to. I love Terry Francona.
I do too.
I was sitting at Dick Owen.
I was talking to a Cleveland fan. Yeah, I know Dick.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, I'd really like to see Francona come to, since this was before.
Oh yeah,
really
me too.
I'm like, he's not. He's done. He's
not.
The next day they announced it. And I was like,
that's why Cleveland fans are ticked right now. They're like, he's supposed to be in Cleveland.
I like our coach. I think we did good with our coach. I think our coach.
We love him, but we're mad at him. As who I was talking to. I can't remember who I was talking. Somebody in my class, I think, is a big Cleveland fan, and
I'm really happy for the
Reds.
About
that. Oh, I am. I'm excited about the Reds. They somehow managed to keep a hold of Ellie De La Cruz, and they got Francona, and yeah, I like where they are.
Yeah.
I really like Terry Francona as a head coach.
The Guardians got lucky by getting the coach that they had because
yes,
normally that's not going to work,
right?
And it didn't work for the Reds when they got rid of Dusty Baker.
Yeah,
because
it hasn't worked. Right?
It's underestimated what these guys do in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
and it's true to get men to play for you. Not an easy thing to do.
Right. They're getting men to play for them. We're trying to get Gen Z to play for us. So we're going to learn how to do that here.
Hey, I did find something new out that I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're born between 1970 and 1985, so that's you.
That's me.
You are the Goonie generation.
You know what's funny about that? I've never seen that movie, The Goonies. I couldn't tell you what it's about.
The podcast is over, folks. It's been fun. I'm out of here.
Is that a science fiction movie?
You're gonna have to come to the house.
Is it like Ghostbusters?
No.
Like they redid it, didn't they? Like isn't the Goonies out again?
I can't believe, how can you be a coach of young men and not see the Goonies?
Are our young men seeing the Goonies? Are they watching the Goonies?
No, but they should.
Are they redoing it? Is it coming out again?
No, not that I know of.
Like some because I felt like
you can't redo it.
Yeah, you couldn't.
It's great because Corey Feldman.
They tried to redo Footloose.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I like Footloose.
I did too. That's a.
I cannot believe
our generation
is. Surely
it is. I agree. I mean, Goonies was a huge movie.
Surely
back then,
April's
but I didn't see
Goonies.
it. I'm sure she has. Because Ghostbusters, Goonies, Friday the 13th.
They redid
movies
Ghostbusters. I'm a big Friday the 13th.
You got a good Friday the 13th story. You and Chastity.
Oh, I did. Have I told that?
Yeah, you told on the podcast.
All right. Yeah.
Paid for one movie, went to a different one.
Yes.
Snuck into it.
Yes.
We
That's when I knew I wanted to marry her.
Yeah, back when we weren't allowed to go to R-rated movies, but we could just. All the movies are in the same hallway. I mean, you already got through, so it's like, well, let's go to this one. I never did that, Mom and Dad. I never did that. Never did that.
We listen and we don't judge. Have you seen that trend? Yeah. We're gonna have to watch the Goonies. I've got I've got a DVD.
Yeah, Corey Feldman was Corey Haim in that as well?
It was not. It was Sean Astin.
What about that whole group, that Brat Pack? Shoot, one of the best ones in there is Jason Bateman. Was he in that too? Was Jason Bateman in that? He was in a lot of good 80s movies.
Nope. Corey Feldman and Sean Astin was the two in that.
Yeah.
I think. I don't.
Is the Goonies kind of like the modern day? Like what would be? What's the one that people got into a lot here in recent years?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yeah.
The Goonies is group of kids that live in an area, neighbors basically, and they find a treasure map.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, we're gonna go find some treasure.
That sounds interesting.
They go look for treasure.
Okay, so it's not about monsters and stuff.
No.
So it's not science fiction. It's just
no.
Yeah, I would be interested in that. Like, why didn't I not see that?
Yeah. This is the craziest
thing. Because I guess in my mind I thought Goonies had
seen...
something to do with like some kind of aliens or something. And I'm not interested in seeing aliens.
No aliens. There is a giant squid deleted scene.
Deleted scene.
Not in the original movie. That's that's my Goonie level right there.
Yeah.
But
I've seen the Breakfast Club. See, I would characterize our generation as being Breakfast Club and Weird Science.
I like oh man, I love Weird Science. Yeah. I'm a Weird Science guy. Yeah, that's the same time.
You don't even have a license.
That's
Lisa.
exactly. That's the line. Yeah, give me the keys. Give me the keys.
You know who can do that really well? So now we have to look him up. At Coach Harris is really really good. Matt Harris is really really good at the impersonations of the Weird Science movie.
That's great.
And yeah, so
I need to watch that again.
Ask him to give you a Weird Science impersonation.
How about License to Drive? You ever seen that?
Yeah, oh yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I think the girlfriend in that's her name was Mercedes.
Mercedes, I think her name. Oh, Mercedes Lane is her name. Yeah.
And then he ended up having, like, at the end, they said, you can finally have your car, and he's like, I don't need it.
I got a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
that's good stuff. Corey Feldman's in that one as well. But that
Old
was Corey
Feldman.
Haim.
Boy, he's a weird feller now, isn't he? Have you seen him now? What he's doing?
Yeah.
On the stage?
I think
Has he lost it a little bit, or?
I think I think Hollywood's rough.
Yes. Like he's playing music or trying to.
Some weird stuff.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he does struggle with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And Corey Haim's one of his best friends.
Those guys. Well, think about the Stand By Me movie, right? River Phoenix didn't make it beyond. How old was he when he killed himself?
Yeah,
well,
he was young.
He overdosed. Right outside the Viper Room, I remember it was kind of surreal being there, and because one of the guys that was with me was like, wonder.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah,
crazy.
That was you talk about. And The Outsiders. Think about the cast in that movie. You've got the Kiefer Sutherland. You've got Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
You've got both of Rick Vaughn. Those brothers.
Charlie Sheen,
and Emilio Estevez, and then Tom Cruise was in that, I believe. One or two of those may not have been, but I'm talking an incredible cast though. Like those were the main actors in that movie.
You're just saying it was a good cast.
We just didn't realize what.
Oh, I got
you. Put all those guys in a movie together. You can't now because some of them aren't alive. But you put all those guys in a movie now.
Yeah.
Together, or 10 years ago, it'd be a big buck movie.
Yeah.
The Outsiders probably did make big bucks, but that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was an 80s movie that was made that was based on a 50s story. So, The Outsiders. Oh no, Johnny or
You're sure you're talking about The Outsiders and not Young Guns?
See, yeah, they were in Young Guns. Emilio Estevez was Young Guns too. Yeah, like The Outsiders. So The Outsiders was the gang, right? The greaser gang versus the preps.
Tom Cruise wasn't in that, was he?
Tom Cruise may not have been in it. I'm questioning myself. I'm thinking of Matt Damon, or not Matt Damon, Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon was in that.
Yeah,
I think that's who I replaced Tom Cruise with.
Yeah,
So
they did that a lot.
There's a lot of cast.
The Burbs was good. Have you ever seen The Burbs?
No.
Tom Hanks and Corey Feldman.
Tom Hanks has been in a lot of movies.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good movie. Good stuff.
You're right about Hollywood, though.
Yeah, they've had some trouble.
Yeah. I really have no desire to watch movies.
Well, we're going to watch The Goonies.
Well, yeah, I watched the old one, but today, nothing.
Definitely have
just
to watch
not even there.
Goonies.
I don't know if I'm just getting old and crotchety.
You'll learn that you need to watch out for booty traps.
Booty traps? I think we better stop this podcast.
What do you think?
I don't know. What's a booty trap?
I don't understand what you're saying. What would you expect it to be?
Well, it could be a couple different things.
I don't understand.
What's your booty?
When I say that, what are you thinking that I mean?
Somebody's rear end.
No, what are you talking about? It's a booty trap.
A booty trap.
Yeah.
You saying booty or booby?
That's what I'm saying. A booty trap.
Booby?
No, I'm saying a booty trap.
Booty trap. Oh, you talking about like the socks, the footies, booties? Someone steps in it and they lose their booty?
Listen, anyone that has watched The Goonies understands what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, see that's people have probably said, "Oh, he has seen that movie." He's like, that proves it. I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah, it proves that I have not seen.
We're going to see it. We'll give you
the Goonies.
We're going to have a Goonie review in one of our upcoming episodes.
Man,
good stuff.
Yeah,
we've been rambling for a while.
Way too long about random stuff. But no, we knew we wanted to talk a little bit about this clinic because everybody who coaches, everybody who's involved in leading young people in a sport needs to take the initiative to get better.
Yeah.
Right? You need to want to get better, and that's what this clinic's about. I love it. So it's actually one of my favorite weeks of the year, leading up to the going and being there. I think there's nothing better than the fraternity of high school baseball coaches, and the state of Ohio does it really, really well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been able to go the last couple of years, so.
Yeah, you're actually riding up with us.
Yeah, I think so.
One Megs guy and 2 Eastern guys in the same
Not
truck.
because I like you, but because I hate driving.
Yeah.
Just to.
Hey, listen, usually, every year, the fact that this clinic's been pushed back a couple weeks from normal maybe is the reason for this, but every year it seems like
Snow.
it's terrible weather. Yes, it snows and you feel like I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Maybe rain, but yeah. The weather looks a lot better.
Won't be bad walking to the grill.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm usually freezing. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing everybody. If you listen to our podcast and you're going to be there, make sure you come and say hi.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we've actually had that happen a couple times. Yeah. Sitting there eating at the Mongolian grill, and this dude walked by and he's looking, double take. I'm thinking, what's this guy staring at? And he's like, you and that guy do a podcast? Yeah. And he's like, I went, Pat. He goes, yeah. Pat. Like, where's he at? I'm like, he never comes to these things.
Yeah, that's not true.
He'll be there this year, folks.
I'll be
Make
there.
sure you get your autographs.
Lord willing.
That's right.
All right, see you, man.